Question number first, for which of these would you use a histogram to show the data? We are on exercise 5.1, first question, chapter 5, mathematics, class 8th. Chapter name, handling data. So A part is the number of letters for different areas in a postman's bag. So a postman is provided with different areas where he needs to deliver posts. Since the area is not bigger and the number of posts are not bigger, therefore a simple bar graph could be used in order to represent this data. So we need not to use histogram for A part. B part, the height of competitors in an athletics meet. Well, height is something which goes in points. So representing heights, which follows decimals as well, is complicated using a bar graph. So we can make a group, and we know very well from our discussion in our introduction part that in terms of group or in terms of categories, we use histogram. Therefore, B is the event where we shall use histogram. C, the number of cassettes produced by 5 companies. Again, number of cassettes will never be a fraction. And since we are not dealing with a large data, we are talking about only 5 companies. Therefore, this representation can be easily drawn on bar graphs. There is no need to use histogram for C part. Therefore, we shall represent event C in bar graph itself. D part, the number of passengers boarding trains from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at a station. Well, there can be numerous numbers of train moving from that platform from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also, number of passengers will be a huge quantity. Since we are dealing with a huge quantity and we are dealing in minutes as well, because a train could move from the station at 7 a.m. and 1 minute and some seconds, suppose 30 seconds. So therefore, grouping of time intervals may be done, and whenever we talk about groups, we mean a histogram. Therefore, D will also be used in a representation of a histogram. Therefore, we write B and D because in all these cases, data can be divided into class intervals or our categories. Remember, this class doesn't mean the class you have in your school. It means classification. It is just a small form of writing classification. Well, that solves our first part. Question number second. The shoppers who come to a departmental store are marked as capital M for men, capital W for women, B for boy, and capital G for girl. The following list gives the shoppers who came during the first hour in the morning. Suppose shop opens at 9 a.m. So these are the number of people who visited from 9 to 10. Make a frequency distribution table using tally marks. Draw a bar graph to illustrate it. So we need to perform 2 steps. First of all, we are going to construct frequency distribution table, which we learned in our discussion part or the introduction part. So we will make a table where we will write shopper and their codes. W for women, M for men, B for boys, G for girls. And we will use telemarks method and here corresponding numbers. Here's how we solve it. We encounter W, we cut it, we put one telemark like this. Again, we have W. In place of W, we'll put another telemark like this. This is just a pipe sign. Again, we encounter W. Again, telemark. Now G. So in section of G, we will put a telemark like this. Then we have capital B. So for B, remember to put in corresponding boxes only. Then W. Therefore, we have 4 W's right now. Again, we have W. Remember, we told you in introduction part, 5th one is to cross a telemarks like this. Then we have M, goes like this. Then we have 2 G's. We can cancel it and put 2 G's. That is 2 telemarks like this, 1 and 2. Then we have 2 M's. So one like this, another one like this. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 W's on a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have G for girl like this. Then we have B B goes like this. We are cutting it so that we do not read it again. We have M, so M goes like this. Also counting should be done simultaneously. We have W, so we have 4 over here. Fifth one is crossing. Then we have B. B goes like this. Then we have 2 G's, so 2G, 4 is here, so 1 is crossing, that is fifth one, and another one like this. So we have to make groups of 5. Fifth one should be crossing 1. Then we have M. So where are we on M? Here. 4 is already there. Fifth one will cross it. Then we have 2 W's. So 2 W's goes like this, 1 and 2. Then we have 2M. 2M means 2 pipe signs like this. And we have 2 W's again. So 1 and 2. That makes 4 pipe signs. Again we encounter W. Fifth one should be crossing. Then we have M. M is like this. Then we have W. W means new starting of pipe sign. Then we have B, the fourth one. Then we encounter W again, so like this. Then we have capital G, like this. Capital M, fourth one, so it will not be crossed. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 women on a row. 4 women, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, fifth one is crossing. Then we have G, third one, W, pipe sign, 2 M's in a row. So fifth one, and 1 was left out of 2. Then we have 2 women, so 1 and 2. You have to make these vertical, remember. Then we have M. M goes like this. Then we have W, fifth one, so crossing. We have G, so like this. We have women, like this. We have men, like this. We have girl, fifth girl, so like this. We have a woman now, so like this. We have men now, so fourth men. We have men again, fifth one, therefore crossing. We have B, again crossing, it is fifth one. We have 2 G's, so 1 and 2. Last one is women, so we see lots of women came. That completes our telemarks. Now we just have to write these, so count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is 25, plus 3 is 28. So this is the whole usefulness of representing telemarks in such manner that fifth one is crossed. We do not have to count each pipe sign. The only point to note is to put fifth one after 4 digits, else your counting will go wrong. So 28 for women, 5 3s are 15 for men, 5 for boys, and 5 2s are 10 plus 2, 12 for girls. This completes our frequency distribution table using telemarks. Now we need to construct a bar graph to show these information graphically. So here we go. We take a graph paper. On x-axis we write shoppers, and on y-axis we write number of shoppers visiting. And the title of this bar graph is shoppers visiting in 1 hour. So this gives us the understanding that we are talking about shoppers who are visiting in 1 hour interval. Remember, these gaps should be equal in measurement, as well as the width of each bar graph should be equal to each other. So for capital W, we increase the height up to 28. So 28 should follow somewhere here. On bar graph, it will be easy for you to locate each cubes inside the bar graph. Here it is 28. For men, we write capital M, and it is 15, so this center point is 15. Similarly for boys, 5. So this center point gives us number of boys. Likewise, for number of girls, we have 12. So 12 falls here. So in this way, we construct bar graph using our Telemark's frequency distribution. So that completes a second question. Question number third. The weekly wages in rupees of 30 workers in a factory are as follows. Using Telemarks, make a frequency table with intervals as 800 to 810, 810 to 820, and so on. So these are total 30 workers. We are provided with their wages, that is weekly. So we will construct 3 columns. First one will be interval, then we need to construct telemarks, and then the frequency, counting those telemarks. At last we are going to do the total, and this all total should equate to 30 because we are talking about 30 workers. And in interval we are given a hint that we shall start from 800 to 810, and the width or size of this class interval we are taking as 10. So there should be increment of 10 in each up to 900. Why 900? Because we have values over here which are close to 900, like 890, 898 again. But we do not have values greater than 900, so we can stop at 900. So this is the only reason that we have to make these number of rows, that is these number of class intervals. Also remember from our introduction part, this point over here is termed as lower class limit and this is upper class limit, and the width is the difference. So 800 to 810, 810 to 820, and so on, and the last one is 890 to 900. Now let's perform Telemark's representation. 830. Now here's the thing. 830 we have over here and over here as well. But we discussed the convention that is accepted globally, internationally, that the boundary line will always follow on next higher class interval. So 830 will come over here. It is shown in this class interval, not this one. So this is the only tricky part while representing information in terms of groups or intervals or classification or class, whatever you want to call it. Now 835, it is simple, it is over here. 890, 890 is a boundary, so it will be over next higher class interval. 810, 810 will be on next higher level. 835, well, it is simple, over here. 836 again over here. It's the fourth one, we need not to cross it. 869, it follows over here. 845, well, we have 845 over here. 898, 898 will be over last higher class interval. 890 again boundary point, so on next higher class interval. 820 again on next higher class interval. 860, so it will be next higher class interval. 832, well, 832 is simple, the fifth one, therefore crossing needs to be there. 833, 833 will be in this class interval. 855 will be over here. We have 845, so 845 will be over here. 804, simple on the first class interval. 808, again the same class interval. 812 over here. 840, again boundary point, so the next higher class interval. So this is the only tricky part over here. 885, obviously here. 835, so 835 again over here. 835, so this will come again over here. Then we have 836 again here. This is the fourth one, need not to cross it. 878, it falls surely over here. 840, boundary point on the next higher class interval. 868, well, it is simple over here. 890, boundary point, so on next higher class interval. 806, well, it is simple on the first class interval. 840, boundary point, therefore on next higher one, fifth one. So with this, we have performed or constructed all the telemarks. Now let's count them. So 3, so 3 over here. 2, so 2. 1, so 1. So 5 plus 4 is 9. Again 5 because we are crossing it. 1, simple 3. We have 1, we have 1, we have 4 telemarks. Now if we count them all, it should equate to 30, then only your representation is correct. Well, when we count it, it comes equal to 30. In this way, we consider each data and turn it into information by putting down telemarks and crossing it so that we don't count it another time. So with this, you see how easily we construct it. Just focus, and the main thing is boundary line data. It should be represented on next higher class interval. So this is the only tricky part while representing it. That completes our third question. Question number 4. Draw a histogram for the frequency table made for the data in question number 3 and answer the following questions. So the statement says we have to create a histogram of question number 3. So this is just what we did in previous question number 3. We need to construct a histogram against these information. And based upon that, we have 3 questions which we need to answer. So first of all, let's perform first part. So we construct a histogram on a bar graph. On x-axis we put wages in rupees, and on y-axis we put number of workers. We start from a jagged line because we are not starting from 0 class interval. Because salaries start from 800 up to 900, so we need not to represent them. So that is the only reason to put this jagged line. Also remember, if we have started from 0, then our bars would have started from here itself. But since we are using jagged line, so our drawing should start off from this location, that is from 800 itself. So we put the number of workers because we visualize frequency is not greater than 10. So 1 to 10 will suffice. Similarly, we have to use this class interval on x-axis. That is the only difference in case of histograms as compared to simple bar graphs that we have studied in introduction part. So construct these axes and put these information on both the axes, pause it and try to construct it by yourself. After constructing it, now let's put the heights of the bars. From 800 to 810 we have 3 frequency. So we will, with the help of ruler and using graph papers, cubes, we will increase this bar's height up to 3. So that is represented. Now 810 to 820 we have 2. So wherever 2 falls, we will use our ruler and we will use the same width in first bar representation and put this line segment up to the x-axis. So with this we have constructed 2 bars. After that, 1 for next class interval. So again we will start from 1. Simply put scale like this, the ruler like this, and construct this line segment of the same width as we did for the previous 2, and then match another line segment to the x-axis. So third one is also constructed. Similarly, you got the idea. You can do for the rest of the frequencies. So this will come with the practice. This just needs a basic understanding. Rest, you make a muscle memory by practicing more and more graphs on a graph paper. So we have constructed a histogram. Now based upon that, we shall try to answer these questions. Which group has the maximum number of workers? Clearly, over here, highest height. So it is from 230 to 240. So the same answer can be written as from 230 to 240 class interval we have maximum number of workers. Second part, how many workers earn rupees 850 and more? Now one thing should be noted over here. It is not always better to visualize bars. Sometimes better information can be attained from the table itself. So this time table will give us the value that we need to answer in second part. So how many workers earn 850 and more? Well, we have 850 over here, from here to this one. So if we simply add these values, that will give us the number of workers that earn 850 and more, rather than matching each time with the heights on the graph itself. So add it, 4, 5, 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. So you see, we have to use both these representations in order to find the answer. The same could be done over here. So we are talking from 850 to 900. So we shall add 1, then this 3, 4, then 112 times 6, and again last one is 4, 10. But here it was cumbersome, here it was easy. Therefore, we must have a switchable mind, that is from where we have to extract information quickly and easily. And third part, how many workers earn less than 850? Again, we shall use tabular form. Less than 850 means 849 and less than that. So our focus will be these intervals. Since it is talking less than 850, not 850, because 850 will be counted on next class interval. So our area of focus is in these class intervals. Simply add them all, these values. Add them and that will be your answer. So let's add them. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 9 is 15. 15, 5 is 20. So the answer is 20. The same could be done over here, but then you need to do little bit complicated work, that is matching heights, but here we have straight away written it. So the moral of the discussion in this question is that you must have a switchable mind, that from where to extract information easily and quickly. With this, our fourth question has been solved. Question number 5. The number of hours for which students of a particular class watch television during holidays is shown through the given graph. So this is the graph and it represents hours of TV watched per day by number of students when they had holidays. So we need to answer the following questions. So let's straight away dive into the questions. Number first, for how many hours did the maximum number of students watch TV? It says maximum number of students. So let's focus on maximum number of students. It is provided on y-axis. It is maximum. 32 is maximum. Against it, we have a height of 32. Therefore, simple answer is those number of hours that corresponds to this value. So it is 4 to 5 hours. That is between 4 to 5 hours. It could be 4 hours up to 4 hours and 59 minutes. Remember, complete 5 hours will not come under this category or under this class. That will be on next class interval. That is the convention we use. Second one, how many students watch TV for less than 4 hours? Now we have to focus our attention on hours, that is on x-axis, because hours are represented on x-axis. So less than 4 hours. So here we consider in this more than 4 hours. We need to focus our attention on less than 4 hours. So these three graphs, rather these 3 bars height will give us that number. So we shall add it. 22 plus 8 is 30. 30 plus 4 is 34. So you see how easily we can find, just remembering that tricky part, that boundary data will come on next higher class interval. Third one, how many students spent more than 5 hours watching TV? Now it is asking for hours, therefore our focus should go on x-axis again, not y-axis. So 5 hours in watching TV, again more than 5 hours. So here these 2 bars will give us more than 5 hours. Not this one, because this has extreme value up to 4 hours and 59 minutes. It is talking about 5 and more hours. So 8 plus 6, 14. Number of students watched TV for more than 5 hours. These questions may appear tricky, but indeed they are tricky for those who do not understand the convention that we use on our boundary line cases. Again, it comes with practice. Initially, you may find difficulty in solving these questions, but practice and careful observation is the key in order to solve such type of bar questions. With this, we have solved our last part, that is 5th question of exercise 5.1, chapter 5, handling data for standard 8th.